Welcome back to the AM Club here on MX24. Thank you so much for staying with us. We really appreciate your presence. My name is Miriam Udwak Mensa. Let's get into something really exciting. You're about to have the world at your fingertips because the wait is finally over. Telecel is here. Now you have everything you want and need: quick and reliable communication, stress-free money transactions via Telecel Cash, transforming your big business ideas into success stories with Telecel Business and more. Connect with Telecel and enjoy a world of endless possibilities because with Telecel there is no limits to connections. Telecel, connecting energies.
Most definitely, my name is Stace Kojo Dassaber as well. You're still logged into the very best right here on MX24. Well, cross it out. Officially, yes, we've made too much noise, and we'll keep on making noise about it because that's our official campaign. Looking forward to eradicate, and make that breast cancer awareness as big as possible. So we've done at Chimota School, we've done St. Mary's, and today we're touching base with Krobo Girls Senior High School. Remember, the message is quite simple. You set a reminder, you get screened and cross it out. We're crossing out the risk, fear and stigma attached to breast cancer. And of course, we want to say a very big thank you to Flora Tissues, Top Choco and YFM. For further enquiries on partnership, sponsorship or more, reach out to us on 059-229-2746 or visit mx24.app/cross it out. Now brace yourself for an electrifying twist at this year's Société Générale Ghana Jazz Festival from April 22nd to the 27th at Alliance Française Accra. Experience a fusion of jazz with diverse genres featuring performances by Bibi Brew, Yomi Sowa, Kokri Solomon, Rocky Dawuni, Alune Wad, the Shuffle Demons, West Coast Busian, Black Muse Entertainment and more, along with a captivating pictorial exhibition curated by We Are Homeland and workshops by seasoned jazz artists. Don't miss out. Concert tickets are going out for 100 Ghana cedis for 1 day and 180 Ghana cedis for 2 days. Grab yours at Alliance Française Accra or dial *800*1010#. This event is proudly brought to you by Alliance Française and Société Générale Ghana. Sponsors are Waka Now Ghana, WeGal GH, EB Styles Accra, We Are Homeland, and Tilbia. Media partners include Assassin Radio, YFM, Canal Plus, and MX24 TV.
All right, so we go straight into our conversation for today. And today on Lifestyle Daily, we are having a conversation on marking World Intellectual Property Day. And joining us here in the studio is Dr. Clement Kado. No. What's the pronunciation?
Kadogbe.
Kadogbe.
Yeah.
So I wasn't far away from the...
Not too far away.
Yeah, Kadogbe. He is a lecturer at King's University College. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are
Awesome.
you
It's
too?
good to have you in the studio. We had a
pleasure
very
being
heated
here.
conversation earlier before we got into the conversation because indeed in this country there are different things happening, but intellectual property conversation hasn't been had as much as we should. And so today on Lifestyle Daily, we intend to throw more light and educate the public on this particular conversation. Now, what's the purpose or significance of intellectual property of any kind?
Okay, thank you so much. So, intellectual property has to do with creativity and innovation. And today, the world is marking World Intellectual Property Day. It's a day that has been set aside since the year 2002. So 2000 by the World Intellectual Property Organization to celebrate creativity and innovation. It's a day set aside to recognize the works of creators, innovators, people who have invented things, so as to celebrate their contribution to the development of the world. So it's a very important day, and the day is also used to shed light on issues of intellectual property. But like you said in your introductory remarks, particularly in Africa and Ghana, for that matter, we don't talk much about intellectual property, and people's intellectual property rights are being infringed upon every day, every now and then. So on a beautiful day such as today, we talk about issues relative to intellectual property. So it's a very, very important and significant day that we should all celebrate.
And I'm sure you are super excited about it to teach us on that. Now, you talked about innovation, so let's talk about intellectual property's relevance to innovation.
Well, so if there was no intellectual property, the truth is people will not innovate.
Okay.
Because intellectual property gives you that kind of right to exploit the fruit of your mental labor. Intellectual property is essentially about having that recognition that, oh, having come out with a very novel idea, a process, a concept, or a write-up, or some unique invention in IT, you should be recognized as the one who came with that thing.
Yeah.
And you should also be allowed to exploit it, make money out of it.
Yeah.
So if people are not being allowed to make money out of things they have created, out of their mental labor, there will not be innovation.
Yeah.
It will even have public implications in terms of, so I'll give a typical example. I think a few weeks or months ago, there was this notice from Food and Drugs Authority. We know we have this mineral water on the market called Slim Fit
Yes.
mineral water. It's spelled with SLEMFIT.
Yes.
Then somebody may be recognizing that that brand is making a lot
Yeah.
of money. They also came up with another brand of water,
Yeah.
Slim Fit, but this one is spelled SLIMFIT.
Yeah.
That has public interest implications. In fact, it has national security implications.
Yes, yes.
The recognized one is there, which has all the protection, but somebody is trying to reap where he has not sown by benefiting from the fruit of somebody else's labor. So intellectual property exists to give protection to all these things so that when you consume something and it's not wholesome, we can trace it.
Okay.
But if there is a fake version which has no protection, I mean, you can imagine the complexities that will be involved. So essentially, intellectual property exists to encourage people to innovate, to think deeply, and come out with ideas. The gadgets we are using here are due to somebody's invention, and the person must be recognized as the one who came with that. We give him all the protection. The state must give the person all that protection to continue to do more and come up with other groundbreaking, things that would help. When COVID came and the whole world was struggling about how to get a vaccine to deal with it, I mean, some people could not sleep and they came out with some vaccines to help us.
Yeah.
So that is innovation, and that is how intellectual property works. Yeah.
Right. Now, I want us to really delve deep into how, so for instance, I'm a creative, I've come up with something. How exactly do I benefit? You've generalized it by saying that we are protected, but what are the actual protections? What are the measures? What are the things that is done for me to feel protected?
All right. So depending on what you have created, you would have protection in a particular law. So so when we talk about intellectual property, generally there are four main areas. We have copyright,
Yeah.
we have trademarks, we have patents, we have trade secrets.
Yeah.
You may even want to add confidential information to it. We also have designs. So like textile designs, for instance, are all part of
Protected.
intellectual property, and they are supposed to be protected. And when you take all this, I will narrow it to Ghana, we have laws or statutes that are protecting all this. So when we take copyright, for instance, we have the Copyright Act 2005, Act 690, which protects literary works, we have artistic works, musical works, and so many other. When you look at Section 1 of that act, it lists all the things that are protected, even audiovisual works, cinematography work, and all those things. They are protected. But the problem is that a lot of people, a lot of creatives don't know about this and the protection they have. So that is why their rights are violated every now and then. So, for instance, if you write a book, okay, you're an author, you've published a book, how do you get protected? You can have protection under the Copyright Act.
Okay.
But you must do certain things first. First of all, you need to, so I see people write books and they don't even have the international standard book number. You need to get that number emboss it on your book, so that makes your book recognized internationally. Beyond that, you need to send an application to the Copyright Office, fill a form, pay some amount of money. Then your book will now be copyrighted. So in that way, when somebody takes your book, takes it and even changes a few things, puts your name on it, the state can protect you. You can bring an action against the person in the High Court. Okay, but most people don't know about this. People write, you will not find the international standard book number. They don't register it at the Copyright Office. So anybody at all can use it, particularly in this time when we have AI issues.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much copyright infringement. I'll take another one, trademarks.
Yeah.
So trademarks are marks that people have, which is unique to their brand.
Yeah.
And what that does is just to separate your product or service from that of another.
Okay.
So when we take MS-24 like this, you have a unique logo, which is distinguishing you from other media houses.
Then we have people to sue.
Yeah, a lot.
Yes, we have people to sue. But now that we're learning about it, then our management has somebody to sue.
You see? So, I mean, even slogans, logos, names, all these have protection in trademark. When you take our Trademarks Act, you find protection, but people don't know. So you find somebody using another person's brand name, and they use it with impunity. Okay? Somebody would intentionally pick your name, just change it a little, and will be using it for something, benefiting from your goodwill, the brand you have built for yourself. And this is a violation. But because we don't know, these things are continuing. So as we seek to sensitize the public, educate ourselves, we become more aware of these things. I see that most people don't know. Even colors have protection in trademarks. So some time ago, one political party in registering with the Electoral Commission was using the symbol and colors of another party. And the Electoral Commission said, no, you can't do that. You have to go and change it. So even sounds, you go to other jurisdictions, even smell. Somebody has a certain unique smell. It has protection.
Wow.
So, I mean,
Smell.
it's
This
so,
is deep.
yes, it's so vast. I mean, when we talk about intellectual property issues, they are so vast. That's why a scholar by name Carol Plunkett, she says that you cannot even have a precise definition for it because it keeps evolving and it involves a basket of rights which keep changing by the day because the world is evolving. So when we get to know these things, somebody can come out with a design, an industrial design. Ordinarily, you should have protection because we have an Industrial Designs Act in this country under which you will find protection. But because the person doesn't know, somebody will take that design and will be making money out of it. Okay, we take patents, for instance. These are inventions. People should be able to protect their inventions and make money out of it. When you look at our Copyright Act, when you look at Section 5 of that act, it talks about economic rights.
Right.
So you should benefit from any creative thing you have come out with. Make money out of, whether it's through reproduction or giving license to somebody to also produce that. But all these things are not being enforced. I mean, I always say that in Ghana we have very beautiful laws, many laws, but the enforcement mechanisms are quite weak. So that is why we continue to face some of the challenges.
like
So would you consider that as a challenge?
It is a big challenge.
A very big challenge.
A big
because
challenge.
here is the case where you're explaining things to me and to all of us, and I'm just seeing that because somebody will say, okay, I have a logo, or I have I have a company which the name is, let's say, DSL, for example. Now, somebody also comes to say that, oh, I am DSA. Now, the L and the L will stand for something different. The A will stand for something different. But how is it that the DSA looks like the DSL?
So clearly, you will see that somebody is trying to benefit from the goodwill of another person.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so when you have registered yours and you have that protection, maybe in trademarks, and somebody is trying to copy or benefit from the fruit of your labor, you can bring an action against the person, and the court will look at the whole issue and you say that, oh yes, this person was up to mischief. That is why he chose a name closely related to yours. So that's why when you go to the Registrar General's office to register your trademark or whatever, or even your company, usually they will do a search and they will see, are there other similar entities with a similar name? If they realize that there is, which will cause confusion in the minds of the public, they will ask you to go and change it, and then you resubmit the application. So those protection mechanisms are there. So that is why I say that usually if you come out with a very creative idea, it is good to go and register it so that you can have the protection.
I want us to delve into the music part because I feel that has, you know, brought in a bigger conversation right here in our country. And you realize that, oh, this whole issues, and you realize that, oh, somebody has gone to sample a particular song or a particular beat, and then we see that, oh, this person has come to sue. How does it work with music and intellectual property, with the beats and the lyrics itself? Because some people lift some you know, some words here and there from other people's songs here and there, and they consider it as infringement on their intellectual property too as well. How does it work? And let's be able to educate people out there on that.
So musical works also have protection in copyright, which is by far the biggest area of intellectual property. So when you look at Section 1 of the Copyright Act, it mentions musical works as one of the works that have copyright protection, provided you take certain steps. We find out that people pick people's beats and even lyrics, and then they put it together as though it was theirs. They move on, nothing happens. Because sometimes the creators of the music do not take steps to get that protection. Okay, so there's a case. A case which was decided at our court is called CFAO versus Archibald, where somebody made some musical notes, but he didn't take steps to protect it. And so when he brought an action in court, the court said, well, you didn't really take the steps to protect the work. Because one of the requirements is that if you create something, maybe it's in your mind, it's an idea, you must take steps to reduce it into a material form. So if it's music, maybe you should record it. When you record it, you have taken steps to reduce it into material form. And then you'll be getting some protection. And I mean, the protection will also come when you take steps to register it. If you don't do that, you may not have the protection. And somebody can copy it, somebody can use it for commercial purposes, and when you bring an action against the person, it may not fly. Okay. The law recognizes that there's what we call free use of copyright, or free use or permitted use, where there are exceptions. You can use somebody's beat provided it is not for commercial purpose. If it is established that it was not for instance, you can get somebody's music and be playing it in your car, you jump to, you dance to it, nobody can bring an action against you. But where you are producing it on a large scale, you have bent it on a CD and you are selling it even in traffic or something, it's an infringement, and an action can be brought against you. So what I would want musicians and people in this category to know is that when you come out with music, it's a hit. It is not enough. You must take steps to register it in order that you have protection. You have copyright protection, so that when somebody copies the beats or the lyrics and all that, you can bring an action against the person.
So those on the streets who've, you know, put all these songs on CDs and, you know, pen drives, and they are selling.
It is a violation of somebody's copyright.
Someone's intellectual property. I would like us to stay on the music bit. So if I have a song I haven't released yet, is an idea, like you were trying to tell us that if you have an idea, make sure to materialize it so that at least you're able to protect it. So if I'm able to, if I'm not able to produce the song, but it's an idea, am I able to protect it before it becomes a material?
So the truth is that per the law, ideas are generally not protected.
Oh.
Okay.
Once it's just an idea,
Yeah.
it is not protected. Unless you take steps to, like I said, reduce it into material form. That's what our law says. And you have taken steps to register it, it will not find protection. However, there can be other ways of going around it. If it's an idea which is very unique to you, you are keeping it, you are protecting it like a confidential information, because confidential information also has protection in intellectual property law. And then maybe I share it with you. And the next moment, you put it out there, and people are benefiting from it at your expense, and you can show cause that this is actually an idea by you, unique to you, and you shared it with somebody, and the person had a confidential obligation to protect that
it,
idea or that information. The courts may, under the rules of equity, may give you some protection.
Okay.
But generally, under the law, ideas are not protected.
Protected.
They are not copyright protected until you take steps to reduce them into material form. You're able to register it and all that. Yeah.
In recent times, I think this about a month or two ago, when we're celebrating Ghana Month, I happened to be with a panel where we were taught, or I learned, I don't know about the people in the room, but I learned that there are a lot of things, symbols and, things in Ghana that, we're not supposed to even use them freely. They are intellectual properties of the country. And this way, I want to find out if, as a Ghanaian, if I have rights to things that belong to Ghana because I'm Ghanaian.
Yes, as a Ghanaian, you have the right to use things that belong to the country because it's a right that you have. But there are certain things which are reserved for only specific groups of people. For instance, you cannot say you're a Ghanaian, and so because of that, you can get up and go and wear a military uniform. The uniform belongs to the state. So you cannot just say by virtue of the fact that you're a Ghanaian, you can just use it, okay? There are some restrictions on the use of certain things, okay? And so we must know what those restrictions are so that we don't fall foul of the law. I mean, there are things that are state secrets. You can't say because you're a Ghanaian, you can just release it and then you go scot-free. No, the law will deal with you. So we must know where our rights end and then the kind of responsibilities we have so that we will not fall foul of the law.
When it comes to World Intellectual Property Day, one would say that it's not a conversation, again, like I said earlier, that is loud enough. So in 2024, what are the mechanisms in place that are going to help allow this conversation even more as we grow? And because, again, things are evolving, things are changing, and we need to be updated. People are doing amazing things that needs to be protected. What are we doing this year to allow this conversation?
I think one of the things is what you are doing here, and I must applaud you for that.
Thank you.
Because we are educating and sensitizing the public so they will become aware of their rights. You know that, if you should publish a book today, I mean, nobody should reproduce that book and then you don't have any kind of protection. So public sensitization and awareness is very key, like you are doing. These days, we also have intellectual property being taught in schools. It's not as common then. Now it is. If you go to almost all the law faculties in Ghana, if you are studying an LLB, you are likely to study intellectual property law, and it will expose you to all the laws and the protection mechanisms that exist and all that. And I think there's a lot of conversation also on the global scale, at the global level, regarding reforms.
Yeah.
I think gradually Ghana is also warming up into it because I think last year, 2023, in October, there was a conference here in Ghana by the African Regional Intellectual Property Organization, ARIPO, where they sought to sensitize the public on, intellectual property rights and all that. So I think gradually things are coming up, and at the world stage too, a lot of things are going on that is making people realize, hey, we've got to wake up to begin to protect intellectual property. So this year, the theme for the celebration of intellectual property and the sustainable development goals, building our common future with innovation and creativity. You know, we are in the era of the sustainable development goals, leaving no one behind. So we need not leave even creators, inventors behind. And so we must talk about the issues that affect them so that they will also become encouraged to create more things. And the essence of creation is to solve world problems.
Yes.
Imagine a world where we are not creating. If the Albert brothers didn't come out with an idea of an aeroplane, can you imagine if you want to move from here to Ethiopia or to London, how long it will take you? Similarly, I mean, the gadgets we are using here, it was due to somebody's innovation or creative idea. And so we need to encourage them by talking about these things and talking about the protection mechanisms that exist so that they also feel confident to create more. I say that everybody has some kind of creative ability within him or her. If the person should know about the benefits that he or she stands to gain, they will create more things.
Now, one of the things that bothers a lot on Ghanaian creatives especially will be that when I finish creating especially not in the music space, so in other spheres, I've created this product, I've come up with this thing. Now, registration of the idea, the frustration you go through, the monies that are charged you, the people that will lie to you that they are able to do it, but they'll register your products or service or goods for you, and by the time you realize the document you hold as registration or as rights to that item is fake. These are some of the issues that have been brought up severally. And so for you, how do we address these issues?
You are perfectly right. I mean, the level of bureaucracy in our system sometimes prevents people from registering their product. Or you want to register something and it can take forever. Somebody is waiting for you to come and pay something before they would. So a process which should ordinarily take a day or two, you can spend a month, 3 months, until you go and pay somebody, which is not right, okay? We need to encourage people by making the process quite seamless so that you apply. This day, you can even do things online.
Online, yeah.
Okay, I mean, when I was living in Norway, I wanted to apply for an international driver's license. I was just in my room, filled some forms, and then within a few weeks, I got it from US. So we should develop to that point. We are in the era of technology where you don't even necessarily have to physically go to a place. Imagine moving from the north, coming to Accra to register something, whereas you could just sit there, just at the click of a button. So we should make the process quite seamless so that people would, be willing and ready to. And then the fees we charge, sometimes for the common man, the ordinary man, it will not be easy to pay. Meanwhile, the person has created something. So we should make it easy for those people to also, and I think one way also of going about it is that it's good for people, particularly people, our economy is largely informal. So people in the informal sector who have created things, they should join associations. But there's protection when you are in a group. Okay, so for instance, if it's even about trademarks, for instance, we have something we call collective marks. They can register you as a group, and you have that mark that gives your product recognition or that protection that you need. So these are some of the ways we can explore these things.
You did mention that there is, development with regards to the theme this year. So from when it was initiated to now, are there any developments regarding intellectual property that we are not aware of, probably the insights of it?
Well, I mean, the world keeps evolving and things are changing by the day. I mean, we've since intellectual property issues came to the limelight. I mean, it's been there for many, many years. Many years. I mean, when we go back into world history, even in ancient Greece and the rest, these issues were there. It took a statute called the Statute of Queen Anne's, which revolutionized how protection was given in issues of intellectual property. And from then till now, there has been a lot of changes. We have various conventions that are seeking to protect intellectual property issues. So, and it will continue. Currently, because of artificial intelligence, you will find out that there's a lot of talks about reforms, and we have to brace ourselves for even more. Because, I mean, you can come up with something, and somebody with just AI, he can just clone that thing or make it look as though it is theirs. So there's a lot of development going on. That is why I say Ghana, Africa, we also need to run even faster to catch up with developments on the world stage. If not, we'll be left behind. And that's why I'm happy the team this year is linking intellectual property with the Sustainable Development Goals, which has as its slogan, leaving no one behind. So nobody must be left behind.
So then it looks like AI is the canker.
It is a serious cancer that we must deal with. It has its good size, but I mean,
but its negatives look like it's outweighing.
They are quite numerous. They are quite numerous.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So again, I'd like us to focus a bit more on the young people starting things today. Let's give them the advice they need in terms of protecting their intellectual properties and making sure they understand holistically the entire conversation. Please give them a message for me today.
All right, so the message to every young lady or young man out there is that you have a very wonderful idea which you believe will put you out there. It is good to seek some knowledge on how to protect this idea. So speak to experts, speak to people in the field who can guide you, or speak to people who are in the area in which you want to go to. Get mentors who can guide you. Beyond that, don't just let it remain an idea. Reduce it into some material form in order that you can have protection. And, well, they say there's nothing new under the sun, but one of the qualifications to have protection is let that idea be some original idea. Even if it is somebody's idea, you are make it quite original. Don't just go and copy somebody's thing and reproduce it as though it is yours. It is dishonesty, intellectual dishonesty. So create something, and like I said earlier, there is some creative ability within everyone. Just sit down, deeply reflect. Where are your strengths? What can you do to maximize those strengths? Create something and get people to help you put it out there, get the protection you need, do the registration, go through the processes, and who knows, we'll have the next Steve Jobs coming out with something very great. And I mean, you'll be celebrated all over the world.
How do we get through to you? If someone just got into the conversation when we're about to wrap up, how do we get through to you to learn more about intellectual property and how to protect them?
Okay, so I'm very active on Facebook. Just search me, Clement Kadogbe. And I mean, you can send all your questions or queries regarding issues of intellectual property, and I'll be willing to give the necessary advice that you need. You may also want to contact me, 0242 569116. Yeah, I'm a youth counselor and advisor. So I'm particularly interested in the development of the youth. So if you're a youth and you have issues, whether intellectual property, whether it's relationship issues, or anything bothering you as a
relationship
youth,
issue. Somebody who needs relationship advice.
Somebody needs some serious advice.
Thank you so much, sir, for coming through. This has been very educative. Like we said, if you want to continue having a conversation with him, please do jump onto his social media, his Facebook specifically, and get some sort of education, as we would say it. Now let's move on to something even more exciting. Jay, what do we have?
Yes, we're plugging in, but before that, for over a year, myEco.com has been partnering with local NGOs to raise funds for charitable causes that improve communities and change lives. As a social impact fundraising platform, we're amplifying our call for change and impact with amazing prizes to be won after making your donations. Donate to support weekly cleanups at the Labadi Beach or Ahabaine's mobile shelter for the less privileged for a chance to win a 2-night luxury stay at the Kempinski Hotel in Accra, or donate to renovate the the NICU and maternity wards at Vapo Medical Center or Cornerstone Primary School for a chance to win a 2-night luxury stay at the Bridgeview Resort in Akosombo, or donate to the AfroFuture Scholarship Fund, or to renovate Anyanya JHS for the chance to win a 2-night luxury stay at the Movenpick Ambassador Hotel. Go ahead and visit maiko.com and follow the easy steps to donate for your chance to win our prizes. Maiko is registered with the Ghana National Lottery Authority, Maiko, empowering society to dream big. This promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform. Terms and conditions apply.
We're still talking Cross It Out here on MX24. Today, we're going all the way to Krobo Girls, and it's going to be an exciting time. What we have said is that the message is pretty simple. Set a reminder, get screened, and cross it out. We're crossing out the risk, the fear, and stigma attached to breast cancer. So we're coming to a high school near you. Like I said, today, we're going to Krobo Girls. It's going to be an exciting time. They're going to learn. They're going to have fun. Your favorite artist is going to be there to entertain them. So just keep tabs with us if you want to sponsor or support this project. Do make sure to call us on 059 229 2746, and make sure to also jump onto this. Our website is mx24.app/crossitout. A big thank you to Flora Tissue and Top Choco. This Top Choco people, they will just beat me. Flora Tissue and Top Choco, and of course YFM as well for coming on board to support us. We're plugging.
Yes. Right after this break, we're plugging in.